You're still watching Ways. Now, on the night of 22nd to 23rd August 1791 in Santo Domingo, today now known as Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, saw the beginning of the uprising that would play a crucial role in the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. It is against this backdrop that the International Day for the Remembrance of Slave Trade and its abolition is commemorated on the 23rd August each year. This International Day is intended to inscribe the tragedy of the slave trade in the memory of all people. In accordance with the goals of intercultural project, the slave route, it should offer an opportunity for collective consideration of the historic causes, the methods, and the consequences of this tragedy, and for an analysis of the interactions to which it has given rise between Africa, Europe, the Americas, and the Caribbean. So this is a very important day. So happy International Day for Remembrance of Slave Trade and its abolition. Anybody has any history on slave trade that they know? Our historian is in the building.
I don't know why you're asking.
Back in the day.
Go ahead.
Actually, we know that the abolition of slave trade was by Abraham Lincoln, and he did this based on the fact that he felt that the Americans and the blacks cannot actually live together without some sort of balance or equality. So what he did was, you know, rally round and get I think this was in 1883 or so. That was when the Slave Trade Act was given out. Yes, so it was Abraham Lincoln actually did this, and he actually achieved that role of abolishing slave trade in America. Now, did that really solve the problems of the blacks in America? Till today, no, it hasn't solved the problem, because there's still that racial difference between them, between the blacks and the white. And that's why today the blacks are actually trying to speak up more. Yes, speak up more than before. Then, you know, but also we also have the history of what's his name? Martin Luther King, who also stepped in, but his role was kind of different from Malcolm X. Malcolm X, who decided, hey, we have to go the violent way to try to make our stance known. Get our freedom. To make our stance known as a people in America. Even though slave trade has been abolished, the maltreatment of blacks has not been abolished. But Martin Luther King came with the idea that, hey, we need to do this with peace.
Dialogue.
Not, yes, we don't have to be violent about it. And I think that's the difference between Martin Luther King's approach or ideology and Malcolm X's ideology.
For me, I didn't even know this was the day we're marking today, but it just reminded me of my trip to Tanzania, Zanzibar. So they have kept these places like where they kept them in chains. You just begin to know about the history, and it is very emotional. Like, you don't even, I wouldn't advise anyone to go there if you're not mentally strong to stomach what you see. Everything
you don't even have to go as far as Zanzibar. Badagry
is the one I've gone to, you know. I mean, I've been to Badagry, but I was very
the point of no return.
I was very little, so it's just the memory is not that strong.
I think maybe we should make a trip there.
Yeah, we should.
We should
as a ladies, ladies night. We should make a trip there. All right, so who we starting? Let me come to you, Elsie. What did you find for us in the news today?
Okay, so early hours of today, we saw a post from ex-BBNaija housemate Dorothy Bako. In a post on her Instagram page, she said that some EFCC operatives broke into her home. That's breaking down the door at about 4 a.m. this morning. That's Monday morning. According to her, she heard a loud sound and voices followed after she rose and came down almost naked to see fully armed men of the EFCC in her living room. One of them recognized her as the contestant from the Big Brother Naija show from last time, and they sort of left. But on going back upstairs to meet her mom, she realized that her mom was already in a panic mode because of the way they came into the house and all that. But EFCC came out to respond, and they're saying that they had a search warrant for Ms. Bako's house, which happened to be one of the flats in the building where 9 suspected fraudsters were arrested. They claimed to have knocked on the door and identified themselves as EFCC operatives and were refused entry for several minutes by Dorothy's sister, and that was why they had to break down the door, saying that if you have nothing to hide, and they identified themselves, that you should be able to open the door. You know, and this is still very unsettling for me, because I remember, I think we took the story of them going into hotels,
barging into hotels.
Now you're barging into, you're saying they should,
the other Stevens, she recalled her story,
able to open the door at 4 a.m. Why is your search warrant telling you to go and arrest somebody at 4 a.m. even if you come to my own house?
But in all honesty, those kind of raids happen at odd hours, so they're able to trap whoever it is that they're looking for. That's the structure.
So if they come to your house and knock your door and tell you, yes, with the insecurity we have in this country, will you open the door?
No.
Never.
Because how would you ascertain that it's really the EFCC that is at your door?
Exactly.
So I don't know.
I'm even questioning the kind of estate she's living in.
I was going to go there. The environment, wherever she's staying, then the security is not strong enough. So if she knows what's good for her, then she should
I mean, estates that we have, this is your estate that they will check your umbilical cord. you have to call.
They should have notified her or notified them that someone was coming in. It's as simple as that. It's essential.
You wouldn't blame them too, because do you know how the EFCC operative approached the security guys as well?
At the gate, yeah.
You don't know.
Possible.
So, I mean,
there should have been some.
But we have to.
Warning.
We have
it's
to move
important.
on. Issy, quickly.
Okay, my story. I'm going to keep it short because this is kind of hilarious to me. I saw the story and I said to myself, "Oh my gosh!" Now at least they're exposing the fact that we have a set of individuals who are not appropriate for that position in APC. So we have, or a certain party. So this story goes: five APC Caucus leaders arraigned for alleged hooliganism in Osun State.
He's a hooligan.
So, if you look at the story, what actually caught my attention was the fact that somebody from the set of the men that was arraigned was actually smiling. So that means that he knew that it was just a part of, it's not something that's serious. It's just it's just a show for individuals or for show, basically. So the story is the fact that they were charged for assault on the 14th of August at about 1:30 p.m. for assaulting an individual that was just coming out of an APC party rally or something like that. So the case has been adjourned till...
I needed you to say what they did exactly. They were using stone.
They assault. I don't want to say
stone. This is pure hooliganism. Like,
I don't want to say that.
Your fellow party member are using stone.
The fact that they are hooligans has just been established, and that is fine by me.
Is it today that we have been seeing all this? What about the ones that we see in National Assembly where they begin to bring up punching gloves? I mean, these are things that we see them exhibiting. But remember there was the time they shut down the National Assembly where they had that scaling defense.
It's not even...
There's nothing they have not done.
That's what I'm saying. If it's for hooliganism, my sister, it's in all of them, their blood.
I was just picturing it.
So we should be very careful of the kind of people that we actually bringing in. If we can, if it's possible.
Okay, today is a comedy day.
All right,
so I just wanted, because this was a breaking story, court refuses another request to stop resident doctors' strike. The judge ordered both the Nigerian government and the striking doctors to suspend all hostility. So this, the National Industrial Court in Abuja, that's today, rejected the application made by the federal government in conjunction with the Ministry of Health to stop the striking doctors from going ahead with to stop them and let them resume work. But according to the judge, he's saying that all parties should just suspend the hostility that they are, nursing towards each other and see how they can move on. So this is actually very sad, because I was really looking forward to getting a medical personnel so we can have this conversation. A lot of people, I was driving to work today, a lot of people were calling in how people, I mean, they've lost loved ones
dying
because nobody to attend to them in the hospital. So, I mean, every other thing, I mean, I was telling you how I was listening to Dora Queen's interview on radio, and she was saying that, see, you can do all this other corruption, but anything that has to be corruption as it regards the health, it is direct murder. So for the doctors to be striking and the government is okay with it, this strike now is about 3 weeks going. Right, and the government is not even trying to make. I mean, some of their demands are like, you know, they still talk about the hazard allowance. With all the exposures that they are being exposed to, you're paying a doctor 5,000. I mean, if you listen to when they talk about brain drain in the medical field, it is now every single day a doctor leaves Nigeria to go abroad. Many doctors are leaving because the working conditions here, even outside of the pay, the working conditions, they do not have tools to work with. So these are valid things that I would think that a reasonable government will sit down to say, you know what, let's put heads together and fight and find a lasting solution. No. Have you been to Luth? They say people are taking drips inside Keke Napep, you know, and it is bad.
That's where
the state of the hospitals are really bad.
Why? The state of the hospitals will always be will always degenerate. Compared to how it was before, because the federal government or the federal officers that we have or the government officials that we have will not go to these hospitals. They would rather go to a
that conversation clinic, I think we would have it tomorrow.
Exactly, a private clinic, or they would rather have to go abroad. And why wouldn't they go abroad? So why would they care about the poor man? The poor man who goes to the general hospital or the community hospital. You know, it's important really that we take all of these into cognizance, because the more we go, we believe that they will look out for our interests, the more we are fooling ourselves.
On that note, we're going to talk about the state of the nation with our guests when we return from the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.